Samuel Mazzucchelli's words serve as a motto for his life and for the many lives he inspired. He was a preacher, teacher, and social activist in the emerging state of Wisconsin in the 1800s. Mazzuchelli is also a man for our time, as he became a builder of churches, a founder of more than 30 parish communities, a civic leader, a defender of Native people, and educator and the founder of the Sinsinawa Dominican Sisters, a congregation of Catholic sisters in the United States. "200 years ago in the beautiful city of Milan, Luigi and Rachele Mazzuchelli rejoiced at the birth of their youngest son, Samuel. Little could they have imagined where God's providence would lead him. Across the Atlantic to the dense forests and prairies of the old Northwest Territory. When, at age 17, Mazzuchelli entered the Dominican order, his family could hardly understand his desire to join a Catholic religious order that, like so many others in Europe, seemed destined to dissolve. The young man traveled to Rome to study for the priesthood. There he heard the call of the American missions. In 1828, at age 21, Mazzuchelli began his journey through Italy, over the Alps, and through France. He and 30 other passengers boarded a small sailing vessel bound for New York. Mazzuchelli then traveled from New York to Cincinnati, where Bishop Edward Fenwick warmly welcomed him. In 1830, the young Samuel was ordained and sent to be the only priest in an area larger than Italy. Samuel's first parish, his home base, was Mackinac Island, Michigan, where his knowledge of French enabled him to preach to the French fur traders. Mazzuchelli visited scattered Indian families and others by canoe, on horseback, and on snowshoes or sleds, sharing their food, joining them in ice fishing, hunting, and maple sugar gathering. He came to understand and respect the Native Americans' culture and way of life. As the United States government pursued Indian removal policies and violated treaty agreements, Samuel protested the injustices he witnessed, writing to Congressman and President Andrew Jackson. He began schools for the Native peoples, insisting that they first be taught in their own language by their own people. A Winnebago prayer book that Mazzuchelli published would become the first book printed in what was to become the state of Wisconsin. Later, his zeal took him to the booming mining areas along the Mississippi, northern Illinois, and what would become Iowa and Wisconsin. Here, Irish, Cornish, and German immigrants were working the lead mines or farming the prairie lands. Mazzuchelli finally settled in the tri-state area where Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois meet. He became a respected leader in civic affairs as well as in religious ones. The first Wisconsin territorial legislature asked him to be their chaplain. He was an architect and builder, working on more than 20 churches and a handful of civic buildings, some of which are still standing today. One of his most enduring civic actions was the naming of the streets in Schulzburg, Wisconsin. The street crossing signs there still bear witness to his unique vision. In 1847, Father Mazzuchelli established a community of Dominican sisters to help him carry on his mission of preaching and teaching. He ended his work on earth as a pastor of St. Patrick's Parish in Benton, Wisconsin. In 1864, he died of pneumonia, having contracted the illness while visiting the sick on a bitterly cold winter morning. However, the Dominican Sisters of Sinsinawa and the people and pastors of the parishes he founded continue to revere his memory as they carry on his mission today. In 1993, Pope John Paul II recognized his holy zeal and virtues by declaring him venerable, the first step in the process of official church recognition of his sanctity. We invite you to visit Sinsinawa Mound and the Tracing a Journey exhibit about the life and legacy of this extraordinary Dominican priest, Father Samuel Mazzuchelli.